Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Better You podcast. In today's episode, I will be bringing on John Gardina to talk about personal growth and how to be a lifelong learner, overcome failure, and how to set goals for yourself to become a better you. Let's dive right in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's going to be on personal growth, and I have with me Mr. John Gardina. He's a father, a husband, he's a teacher, a coach, podcaster, runner. He does it all. So he has plenty of wisdom to share with us today. And I'm happy to get started. So you can introduce yourself real quick.
Well, you did. You did a great job. Um, One thing that Garrett didn't
Author.
tell you is that, author, yeah, author, that I coached Garrett for 3 years in golf. It was one of my best years of coaching ever. He is a great student of the game and of life. So I hope today that you could learn some pearls of wisdom that I've learned in almost my 42 years around the sun.
All right, let's get started then. So today's podcast is on personal growth. So I wanted to know, how do you define personal growth and why do you believe it's so important in one's life with how you teach and how you coach and how you work on it yourself?
Well, if you're not growing, you're dying. And the best way to grow is to really start through a transformation through your mind. So I always tell kids and young adults and even adults that to grow means you have to be a lifelong learner. So there's really two paths that I see it as, is to be a lifelong learner and learn how to fail well. So to grow, you have to be cut back. Think about it like a rose bush. To get beautiful roses to be blossomed each season, you have to cut it back, cut out the dead branches. And it's the same thing in life. It is very important to know that you're going to have failures. It's how you respond to those failures. But then seeking wisdom or knowledge through books or for mentors or people that you trust in your life will propel you to live the best life possible.
And how do you set goals and what's your vision for your future self in your like personal growth journey?
Hmm. That's a great question. I'll try to be very concise. First of all, I
Mhm.
think you have to have a vision. Your vision for where you want to go, and then you have values. So based on my values and my vision, then you come up with your goals. So goals can be in certain areas of your life, financial, you could have goals for relationship, you can have goals for career. Um, my goal is very, very specific. It's really in the next 3 years to make $50,000 per month by using my gifts in teaching, speaking, podcasting, doing more books, and in regards to like master classes online, and creating good content that people could use to help them in their life. I think it's very important to be very clear. And one of the books that I would highly recommend everyone to read is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I believe it was written in 1938. There's a lot of wisdom in there of how to set specific goals that are attainable, smart goals. And the second piece of this, Garrett, and for everyone listening, is you should have a big, hairy, audacious goal that you have in your mind for your future vision, but also you need small wins. So what small wins does for you is like acing a test or, you know, running a race or even in a micro level, like per day of having a goal that you accomplish each day. It builds confidence. And then with that consistency, what happens is you get momentum. And once you get momentum going, you get more confidence that you can do bigger and better things. So I know I said a lot there, but it's very important to have macro, micro goals. And those little micro goals help propel you towards your big goal.
That's great. And I remember we talked about just that in our leadership club that you ran.
Mhm.
And then you also obviously helped me with goals in both my golf game and in school when I was working in your classroom. So it's a big piece.
It's a big piece. And if you don't have a vision for your life and you don't have goals, then you're just going through this, I call it the meandering water, where you're just kind of floating there and you don't know the direction you want to go. So if you don't have a goal and it's not concrete, then you're hoping something happens, and it's not really what successful people do or have personal growth in their lives for any aspect of their ventures that they want to do in life.
Mhm. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life that made you want to better yourself?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I go back to my buddy Gerard. He gave me the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins at a basketball game. And I had let fear be a barrier for me in regards to running a half marathon. And what that book did is it allowed to unlock those fears that I had and build off of small wins from running consistently, and then going through and building that confidence that I needed. And you get a mental sharpness when you run or do any kind of endurance. So the pivotal moment for me was that opened the door to really gain a lot of confidence. And I mean this where the shift happened or the transformation. So my mind was very clear now that I could do more than I thought. I think we all have ceilings of what we can do. And what I'd say to you is take that hammer, break that glass, and go to the next level. And you just want to keep moving up. So during that time, after running the half marathon, and I did a marathon and I did ultra marathons, then I found my buddy Jeff Forrester, who then another pivot moment was he wrote his book in 2 months. And then it was that wisdom that he shared with me that, like, I've always wanted to write a book for the past 10 years. What could he help me with? And how could this be possible? So I would say for anybody is to have mentors like we talked about earlier who help guide you, but also you have to do things that you overcome your fears so you have confidence to help you in that personal growth journey. Because if you don't have that moxie about you, it's very hard and arduous of a task to go through each day not believing in what you're going to do.
I believe that too.
You should.
So, with all the wisdom that you have gotten from all your experiences, and I mean, you've been accomplishing so much recently, but what's one thing that you would tell your younger self to give advice to them on how they can better themselves?
Well, we talked a lot about it. I would say besides surrounding yourself and gaining knowledge is like you are more capable than you ever thought possible. The things you're able to do in life, do not limit yourself to what you think you can't do. Go bigger, think greater, because it's those types of thoughts and visions that you have for yourself that will come to fruition. But you have to set high standards. But to attain those standards and those dreams you have, it's those small wins, being surrounded with great people, and be thirsty for knowledge and wisdom to make good decisions to help propel you to the life you want.
I think that's a really good note to end on and to lead people to think about and how they can better themselves and how they can grow as a person. So, be a lifelong
Yeah.
learner.
Yeah, lifelong learner. And I'll end here if I would say, like, if I was giving my speech to all the seniors, is be joyful in the process of suffering, as long as it's something you're passionate about. It's probably one of the most important things too, Garrett, is suffering is part of the process, but suffer well knowing there's an end game that it takes maybe 7 years minimum to get out of that mud of not making growth. And let's just talk about money. Like it takes 7 years if you're in a business to really have that business have some exponential growth. But people aren't willing to put in the hard work because they think it becomes quick. And that's a lie. It takes time, dedication, and really hard work to get to where you want to go. And there's no secret to success without those steps.
Hmm. And that's what I hear all the time is right out of
That's
college, those few years out of college, that's the time to put your head down and work. So
Yeah, that's it, man. There's no
it's
secret
when the
sauce,
magic
man.
happens.
Just work.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and giving all the knowledge that you have to give. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
All right, everyone. Be blessed.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen to the podcast. I hope you got as much out of it as I did. John Gardina has been a huge mentor for me in my last 4 years here at Perry High School. He has taught me so much, and I'm so glad that he's been able to share his wisdom with you guys as well through this podcast and share some words of advice, encouragement, and lead you guys on a path that can help you grow in your personal lives. So thank you so much for listening and have a good one. I'll see you next time on Better You.